and I'll make it very brief. There's a couple of points to be made about the program. I've just asked my colleague Rahui Kartane for the name of the program that's not being continued with, and she can't think of it either. We both know that it's T something. The T what? Te Hurihanga. Well, I don't profess any great knowledge about that, Mr. Chairman, but the evidence is quite clear from overseas, and even criminologists who are in the rehabilitation is possible camp, the rehabilitation is not possible camp, they're broadly divided into two. Some say nothing works, and that's one recognised camp of criminologists. Others say lots of things work. Even the nothing works camp agree that if you spend enough money and it's intensive enough, the results will be okay or better than okay. But the question then becomes, how much do you spend for what sort of okay result? And I note that I think the figures have been given that I think Ms Ardern said yesterday that there'd been no reoffending of any of the graduates for 10 months. Is that correct? Okay, well someone did that. The graduates who had graduated, gone through the course thus far, had not reoffended for 10 months. Well, look, sadly, that's not very significant. If it was 2 years or 5 years, then that means something. In this country, we have lots of statistic manipulation among sex offenders, and we say graduates of this course have a 20% or 6% rehabilitation rate, reoffending rate. You have to know over what period. So while this program may well be effective for a small number, for a vast cost, the sad reality is that bang for the buck, you've got to try and get the rehabilitation for the greatest number, the greatest good for the greatest number, utilitarianism I think they call it. So that's one reason that sadly this is necessary. Secondly, I think Ms Dalzell said, it was Ms King actually, whose opinion I have considerable regard for, that we're talking about children, and she was a little bit passionate there about it, and these children need care. Well, look, sadly, there are 12-year-olds who are no longer children. They might be children chronologically, but they've offended seriously, they have no background, they have no values, and we simply, you've encouraged them through welfare. That's the whole problem. The problem is that you cannot say that all the young people or young children at my daughter's school who are 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 are children. Sadly, they're not. So, I'm all for rehabilitation, and you can laugh over there. Let's hear it. Rehabilitation's wonderful. As I've said in other speeches, I'd be delighted if no one is ever locked up under the 3 strikes law on a 3rd strike. I'd be delighted. But sadly, that's not reality, Mr. Chairman, and we have to target the money available to those who are most likely to benefit and to where the greatest number is going to benefit, and this is what this part of the bill is doing. Thank you.